Greeting everyone, my name is Avela Josi. We are the FIS students from CPUT, and this is
I'm Yonela Yamile.
As we were given an assignment to investigate about the input and output devices, we went to two companies, which is the educational institution, which is College of Cape Town, and the retailer shop, which is PEB. We investigated about the input and output devices that they are using in their company. Mama Tamsan will elaborate more about the input devices. An input device means giving information and instruction into the computer. We did about 3 different kinds of input devices, which is a keyboard, a scanner, and a barcode reader. My other colleague will explain more about output devices.
Okay, and output devices is any piece of computer equipment that is used to communicate the result of data processing carried out by an information. And there are 3 examples of output devices that we research about. The first one is the printer, and the second one is the projector, and the speaker came to you.
Firstly, I'm going to talk about one of the examples of the input devices, which is a keyboard. A keyboard is consists of the numeric keys, the quarterly layout, as well as the arrow keys. The purpose of the keyboard is to enter data into a computer. Thank you.
ATM Capitec consists of output and input devices. When I insert my card, this is an input devices, and then the computer is processing. It's processing. When I put in my PIN, this is an input also, and I press enter. Processing input devices. And when I take out my card, this is an output devices, and when I take out my slip, this is an output devices. Thank you.
Let's get the board.
A barcode reader is a small electronic device that can read an output printed barcode to a computer. The barcode reader is also an automation of capturing data into the computer. Understands the scanned data. It is also a control of what data has been captured. She is telling me this, and the barcode which has been read, and there is an output of slip.
Barcode consists of a parallel, adjacent bars and spaces. Symbologies are used to encode small strings of character data into printed symbols. The combination of black and white bars represents different text characters which follows a set algorithm for that barcode type. If you change the sequence of bars, you get different text. A barcode scanner reads this pattern of black and white bars, and this is turned into white text that the computer can understand.
You're gonna have to start afresh.
Sent over to your computer
But
just stop, it's fine.
Just stop and
Firstly, I'm going to talk about one of the examples of the output device, which is speakers. A speaker is an audio output device that produces music, sound, speech, and others such as beeps. In this business, they are using speakers for music. For example, when you play, you hear that there's a sound coming in out of the speaker.
Hello, my name is Josh, and I'm one of the crew at DSI Entertainment Systems, here today to demonstrate a media room surround sound system. In this particular case, you can see that the interior aesthetic is very contemporary, and that's what dictated the overall look and feel of what we designed. As the centerpiece here, we have a 103-inch plasma TV. The client did not want to see speakers or stacks of audio-video components, so what we did in this case is have some custom-built speakers made by James Loudspeakers for the right and left, and they're just built on the side of the bezel, very thin. And this actually has a built-in center channel. Normally you would have a center channel speaker below, but instead the center channel is made up by having particular drivers on either side of this speaker dedicated for the center channel. So you still get a center channel when you're listening to the sound. For the speakers on the surround sound, we have 4 in-ceiling speakers, and then for the subwoofers, we have 2 Sonance in-wall subwoofers, which you can see the grills on either side of the cabinets, but you don't see a big woofer in the room. What I'm controlling this with is an AMX touch panel. This also controls the house's home automation system, but here, just to demonstrate, I can change channels very easily with this touch panel interface. Very simple to use, just touch button control. If I don't want to use a large remote, I want to use something a little smaller and portable, I also have another AMX remote control that's a little more portable. Most of the components are hidden in a mechanical room in an audio-video rack, which is a couple rooms away. That keeps the components out of the room and keeps the heat out of the room. The only local component is a Blu-ray player in that cabinet for ease of access and putting in discs. If you would like more information about media rooms and even dedicated home theater systems, please call DSI at 866-692-8489 or visit us online at dsientertainment.com.
Firstly, I'm going to explain one of the examples of output devices, which is printer, this one. A printer is a device that accepts the text graphics output from the computer. The printer transfers the information to a paper. This institution uses a printer to print out the information such as student marks, such as register, paper exam for students. Let me show you how to use this printer. We're going to File, and then we're going to Print, and then we click Print, and then we wait, and then the machine is processing, and the paper comes out. It's how they use a printer.
The second example of an output device is a projector. A projector is a device that is used to project rays of light, especially in apparatus with the system of lenses to projecting slides, as you can see, of film onto a screen. In this institution, the projector is used for the presentation and display information for the students and for teaching purposes.
Hi, I'm Marty Delakian from IAV International Audiovisual, and I'm here today to show you how to use your LCD projector when you want to do a laptop presentation. Well, the first thing is that we want to make sure that we're using the right cable, and usually the cable that you're going to be using is a VGA to VGA 15-pin to 15-pin cable. Now, we have equipment set up here and we're using a PC with an LCD projector. You may have a Mac laptop that you'll be using. If so, you have to make sure that you have a VGA adapter, and that usually can be purchased at your Apple store. So let's take the cables and start here. We're going to plug one end into the computer, which is our output, and we're going to plug the other end, which is our input, into the projector. And what we're looking for is something that's going to say either RGB in or computer in. Now once the cables are connected, you should see an image up there from your laptop. In this case, we don't. So number one troubleshooting is going to be check your source. So there's usually a button on the projector that's labeled either source or input, and you want to see what input you're on. Well, in this case here, we're on the video input, so that's the wrong input. We want to be on a computer input. So we're going to bring it up again and toggle through here till we get computer 1. Well, we got the right input, but guess what? We still don't have an image. So then we have to do troubleshooting number 2, and that's back at our laptop. If we go to the laptop, on the top section of the laptop are your F keys. And what we're looking for is an F key that's labeled either LCD, CRT, or maybe a picture of a monitor. and it's usually between F4 to F8. Well, in order to make that work, we need to hold down what we call the function key, which is labeled FN at the bottom of the laptop. Now keep in mind that this is a three-way toggle. All right, and what I mean by that is that when you hit it one time, you're going to have the image on the laptop. When you hit it the second time, you're going to have an image on the screen. And when you hit it the third time, you're going to have an image on both. And that's what we want to try to find. So let's hold down our function key, and let's hit, in this case here, it's going to be F4, and see what happens. Well, we got the image on our screen, but guess what? I lost the image on my laptop. So I'm going to hit it one more time, and that's going to give me my image on the screen and my image on a laptop. So we're in good shape now. The only other thing you may want to do is adjust your zoom and focus, which can be done either at the projector in this case, or maybe through a remote control depending on your projector. And don't forget, if you do have audio on your presentation, you want to make sure you be able to get that out so that people can hear that as well. All right, so we have here an audio cable, which is a mini to mini cable. You need to plug the audio cable into the output of the laptop, which is going to be your line level out, and into the input of your projector, which is going to be line in. And that will be able to give you an audio. Most projectors have their own speakers in it. But if you're using an independent sound system, all you need to do is take this cable, instead of going into the projector, go into your mixer on an audio in input, and you'll be able to project the audio through your sound system. And that's all it takes. So listen, you have a good presentation, and if you ever have any questions, don't ever hesitate to call IAV. We're always here to help you. Take care, and see you soon.
That was our finding for the investigation. Thank you for watching our video.